Basic cooking verbs. Boil, meaning to cook in hot water. For example, boil the eggs for 10 minutes. Fry, meaning to cook in oil. For example, fry the onions until golden brown. Bake, meaning to cook in the oven. For example, bake the cake at 180 degrees Celsius. Grill, meaning to cook over direct heat. For example, grill the chicken for 10 minutes each side. Roast, meaning to cook in the oven with dry heat. For example, roast the potatoes. Steam, meaning to cook with steam. For example, steams the vegetables. Other useful cooking verbs. Blend, meaning to mix thoroughly using a blender. For example, blend the fruits to make a smoothie. Marinate, meaning to soak in a mixture for flavor. For example, marinate the meat for at least an hour. Chop, meaning to cut into small pieces. For example, he chopped the onions before cooking. Slice, meaning to cut into thin pieces. For example, please slice the tomatoes thinly. Peel, meaning to remove the skin. For example, he peeled the potatoes for dinner. Stir, meaning to mix with a spoon. For example, stir the soup gently so it doesn't spill. Mix, meaning to combine ingredients. For example, mix the flour and sugar together. Whisk, meaning to beat using a whisk. For example, she whisked the eggs until they were fluffy. Pour, meaning to transfer liquid. For example, pour the milk into the cup. Season, meaning to add salt, pepper, or spices. For example, season the chicken with salt and pepper. Mash, meaning to crush. For example, mash the boiled potatoes. Grate, meaning to shred. For example, grate the cheese for the pasta. Spread, meaning to cover with a layer. For example, spread some butter on the toast. Simmer, meaning to cook gently below boiling point. For example, let the curry simmer for 20 minutes. Sauté, meaning to fry quickly in a little oil. For example, sauté the vegetables in olive oil. Knead, meaning to work dough with hands. For example, knead the dough until it's soft and smooth.